Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And still I rise, Mr. Speaker, and I rise today because I love my country, and I rise today because it's important for us to understand a process, this impeachment process. Whether you agree with the bringing of impeachment or not, it's appropriate to us understand the process. So today I'd like to share a few words about the impeachment process, some 85 days since the Mueller report was presented, wherein Mr. Mueller all but indicated that impeachable acts occurred. Some 85 days. I rise and I have my mnemonic notes that I shall refer to. The impeachment process, it starts and it ends the impeachment itself in the House. The House of Representatives, and only the House of Representatives, can impeach a president. It's very similar to an indictment, but not the same as an indictment. Once the impeachment actually takes place, then the process moves to the Senate. But today I'm going to focus on the House of Representatives. Perhaps we'll talk about the Senate on another occasion. The impeachment process is not an appealable process. So once the House gives its verdict, if you will, a majority of persons present voting for impeachment, there is no appeal. It doesn't go to a friendly court that a president might have. It won't go to the Supreme Court ultimately, where some would contend that the court is divided along party lines. I happen to think that judges ought to vote based upon what they perceive the law to be. And I tend to give judges the benefit of the doubt when it comes to making their decisions. But there are many who perceive this to be the case. But it's not appealable. It is something that is totally within the province of the House of Representatives. This vote is a vote of conscience. And this is where I'd like to focus a good deal of my energy today. A vote of conscience. This means that you vote based upon what your conscience dictates. There will be no instructions given to persons who will vote. Generally speaking, a jury would receive some sort of instructions indicating that you should make certain findings. No instructions. There will be no indication that you have to do this based upon clear and convincing evidence, that you have to find beyond a reasonable doubt that something occurred, that you should do it by a preponderance of the evidence. There is no standard that will be given to members as they cast their ballots. It is something that each member does, and it is a vote of conscience. Now, the question can become, whose conscience will it be? Because if you take another person's recommendation and you vote based upon that recommendation, then you could conceivably vote another person's conscience. I will vote my conscience. I will not be guided by what others think who may be voting based upon political expediency. You can vote based upon political expediency if you so choose. I will vote based upon a moral imperative, a moral imperative. I will vote my conscience. And I will do this because I believe that in this country, the country that I love, I rise because I love my country. And I believe in this country that I love that we ought not allow any person to be above the law. The law of which I speak is Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution. No one should be above the law, but this is the law that governs impeachment. No one should be above the law. And I believe that for some 85 days now, since the Mueller report, we have evidence that the chief executive officer has been above the law. So there will be a vote on impeachment. Each member of this august body has the preeminent privilege of bringing impeachment before the body. I happen to be a member, and I want to assure all that impeachment is not dead. I read a story today where there was an indication that it is stalled or it is slowed. I just want you to know that I may stand alone when I do this. This is what my conscience dictates. But I believe that it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. I will stand. There will be another vote. And I'm asking that all do what I believe is expected, and that is vote your conscience, knowing that there is no appeal, knowing that you don't have to worry about the Supreme Court, and knowing that there will be history to judge us all. I yield back my time.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities toward the president. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr.